We back, and we back at it again. And you know how we be. And let me stop because I was about to start freestyling. But my name is Huncho, but y'all already knew that. And this is my guy.
Suriako in these Dynasty streets. They call me Rocco.
And we are fourth and fantasy your dynasty playbook. Two more championship wins. Man, we're back at it, bro. We've took a little
A,
bit of week
fan-
off. Oh shit, go ahead. Go ahead.
a fantasy podcast for Dynasty sickos by Dynasty sickos, but everybody is welcome.
Bang bang skeet whoop whoop bow. Glad to be back. Glad to be back at it. Had to take a little bit of time off. Hectic week last week, but nevertheless, glad to be back talking to y'all and be talking about football because it can never get tired about talking about that. Rocco, how you feeling, my G?
Man, feeling great. Feeling great. Man, we've been going to the water parks for this summer lately. I'm trying to get my summer tan going right now. It's not really working too well. Only in my face, splotchy everywhere else, but we getting it in.
Amen. And shout out to all the fathers out there. With Father's Day passing this past Sunday, all the dads out there, you are appreciated. Rocco, yourself,
Yes,
happy
sir.
Father's Day to you. We don't get our flowers, so shoot, we gotta make sure we get our one day out of the year. Our socks, the little knick knack penny. Give a dog a bone. So hey man, another day on this side of the earth, always good, right?
Hell yeah, I got me a Super Dad shirt, so man, I wore that thing proudly.
Yes, sir. But we've been at it, even while we've been gone, still been at it a little bit with startups. And a startup right now just joined another. I know, man, Dynasty Sickos. We just can't stop. We up at it again.
Sickos.
We joined another league, and you know what I'm saying. And I think at this point, you're kind of hitting the quiet time of the off season where teams now have ended mini camp. They're now going on about like a month and a half break until training camp for guys to go on their own time, and hopefully guys are still training, still staying up tip top shape, and then starting to see what really transpires in training camp. And that's where I think you see more things develop. Yeah, these mini camp, these OTA videos that we've been getting, they've been fun, don't get me wrong. And yes, you can very much get some value out of them, but also think you get more out of when them pads come on. More guys, you actually see the football things of it. You see in OTAs and mini camps how guys are going to be used, but training camp, that's when that real fun happens. And then you get preseason, and then it's really about just checking on guys that you either drafted or guys that could pop up, like those waiver wires that you just never know. I feel like every year in preseason, there's a waiver wire guy that pops up out of nowhere. Our boy Afton Chisholm has been going crazy. The noise behind him, and once again, I just like to toot our horn because you know how we be over here.
That was Devi Player of the Week months back before it was even popular to talk about him.
I'm telling you. So we was right on the head on Afton Chisholm the third. Still high. I think I own him in 95% of the leagues I'm in now. I'm telling you, I'm a big believer of him. And yeah, and what we've been hearing about Demario Douglas, Pop Douglas, and how he's going to be used in that New England offense makes me happy for the future. So I still think Afton Chisholm makes the 53-man roster. Whoop, whoop, wop, wop. But I think his real value is going to come in that year 2, year 3, year 4, just depending on how long Demario Douglas sticks with the team.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think once again, this is the time where you see guys they start to make a name for themselves. So, we already know about those guys who went early, the first round, second round, third round. But what Dynasty is really about is finding those gems, some underrated cats that you just don't know. So we've even heard some good things about LaQuint Allen out of the Jaguars. So it's just about really having your ears and eyes open and viewing everywhere. But what do you think, Rocco, for this time of year?
Oh man, I'm just kind of following the news, just kind of seeing who's popping, trying to filter through the noise because a lot of that stuff's just nonsense, and you gotta find the right news. You gotta follow. 32 Beat Writers is a guy that I follow. Um, he's got pretty reliable information. He's getting it straight from the beat writers, and it kind of consolidates all that information into one spot, so you don't have to follow every single beat writer and filter out all of the shitty beat writers, because there's a lot of them out
A
there
lot.
that just say whatever the team wants them to say. You got to find the good ones. So um, be careful who you're listening to, because there's a lot of accounts that just kind of just bullshit. There's
Yo.
just a lot of them, and if you're paying attention to those guys, you could easily put too much stock in some of these guys that just aren't very good at football.
And I'm going to tell you now that this is the prime. Don't be uh, getting too high on a player. Don't be getting too low on a player on this at this time of year. It's really just about staying open and diligent on your leads. If you make a trade, you make a trade. But at this moment, like people at this time of year, I think too much about, oh, my team is missing this, my team is missing that. Fuck it, that's not what you need at the moment. Don't think about need, just because then when you think about need and going about your team about that, it's like, bro, and you go out, you get desperate, you make a trade. Now you don't mess up your team a little bit more than you wanted to. So I'm only making a trade at this point in time if it makes sense. Some people are going to trade crazy. You made a couple good trades today in the last few days. Shout out to you, my G1, and one in the league that we're in. I was like, I'm gonna have to re up then. Getting a little shicey, getting a little hard out here.
Yeah, I'm always on the lookout for teams that could potentially pivot to being rebuilding team, or a team that needs quality depth. You always look at your teams and see if people are liking your players, because then they kind of giving you a hint that they might be interested in
Mm,
player A or player B. Another thing you can look at is see if you got some backups who are handcuffs. Those really work as throw-ins and can kind of motivate somebody to make the trade even more. Um, but yeah, I just kind of get bored and look at my teams, and find a team or two, and see if I can make a trade, see if I can get even close. And the thing is, you got to send a strong offer first, so that so that the other person just doesn't kind of think you're full of shit. And you know once you get into that situation, it's hard to get things back right in the trade negotiation. So
mm,
send out a strong offer, make sure that it's at least righteous on keep trade cut, and go from there. Make them think at least, because they'll come back to you if you constantly send out quality offers. They'll come back and seek you out, when they're ready to make a deal, because there's so many shitty offers out here that if you're at least making legit offers, even offers, you know, making offers where you're trying to at least see what the other team's need is,
yep.
they will jump in your inbox again at another date.
Yeah. And before we go into the next segment of our show, one news though I do want to bring up, even though it hurts my soul a little bit, because I know we were a champion. We was in his corner. We always thought he could get better, but the news behind Anthony Richardson and his AC joint, and him now looking like he's not going to be back until training camp, And I even saw a a post where they were like, if he doesn't come out and looks like he is the guy in preseason and training camp, that he might not make up the ground on Danny Dimes, Mister Mr. Danny Dimes himself. So we might have seen the last bit of Anthony Richardson and with the Indianapolis Colts. But what do you think about that, Rocket? Before we go into our next part.
I just want to take a look at Daniel Jones' career win-loss record,
Yeah.
25, 46, and 1.
Yep.
So you got to be pretty fucked up to lose your job to that guy. That guy is a bum. I don't know why he keeps getting jobs, and he will blow it at some point for the Colts. So maybe he starts the season as the starter, but he will fuck it up at some point. I just I'm almost pivoting at this point because I don't think it's going to happen for Anthony Richardson in 2025. He just can't win it with that moribund, is that the right word? Awful organization in the Colts. God rest his soul, Jim Irsay, but that's a shit team, a shit organization, and he's gonna find his way onto another team. I like the Steelers. You could have Aaron Rodgers be, a gatekeeper for a year. Get that man to the Steelers. You've seen what it's done for Justin Fields' career path. I think he can have a similar career path.
Mhm.
Come on, let's make that happen. He doesn't want to be there anymore. The team doesn't want him anymore. Right
So
now, right now it's a bad situation all the way around. So
get that
give
boy.
my man a legit organization. Let him rebuild himself, and let's watch Danny Dimes implode on the field in 2025 and be what he's always been, a fucking loser.
See,
But
I
I
don't
do
want
have a
to.
hot take on Jonathan Taylor, but I'm going to save that for a future episode.
Yes, we do have a. We got a episode coming up for y'all tomorrow. We're not going
It
to spill the beans yet,
it might
but
actually come out before this one, so
right,
it'd be like in the Matrix.
right. So like we're talking to ourselves in a different time, type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like here we is. Like, we're on to our next segment, buy, sell, trade. We're now kicking this off using fast draft rankings, particularly. You hear me, you feel me, you dig. But the three players that we're going to be particularly looking at are Devin A. Chain, Brian Thomas Jr., and Amon Raw St. Brown. Now, particularly how Fast Draft has their ADP set up is per their different modes: Origins, which is rookies; Flex 4, which is all the players; D up, defensive players. I think you get it at this point, right? Now,
hmm
let's look at this ADP and look at where our players that we're looking at sit. So, as we go down, ranked 10th, Amon Ross St. Brown. I think which would make him shoot what? That's one, two, three, four, five, six. The six wide receiver six in their particular ADP. Now,
hmm
there was a point in time where Amon Ra was considered in that top four ish guys in the NFL. Would you agree, Rocco? Now,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
was never
absolutely.
he was never in that top three, considered with CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase, and Justin Jefferson. But he's in that next tier, correct?
Yeah, I mean, like to me, he's
Would you
he's
put
right
him?
at he's
Would
right
you?
after the Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase tier because they're a tier of their own. I know we've had some conversations about
Yes,
CeeDee
sir.
Lamb, but um, Amon Ra is just so damn fucking consistent.
Mhm.
Like, I think where the disconnect with people is they see the talent that Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, and CD Lamb have in real life, and they confuse it with the production that Amon-Ra St. Brown has. Because Amon-Ra has production that can, pretty closely go toe to toe with those guys. Those guys have a little bit more ceiling, but the consistency of Amon-Ra St. Brown, you know, I like we talked about foundational pieces.
Yo,
I would have no problem having him as my wide receiver one on any of my teams.
no, and one thing that I feel like people might not even notice about Amon-Ra St. Brown, but other than his rookie year, he's gone over 1,000 yards, and he almost went over 1,000 yards in his rookie year. But he had 90 catches his rookie year, 912
Mm-hmm.
yards. That kind of almost sounds like who Marvin Harrison Jr. But I digress. Never. We're not gonna touch that. We're not gonna get on it. I feel like I'm gonna go down a tangent, but nevertheless, 2002 he goes off for 106 catches on 146 targets, 1,161 receiving yards, 6 touchdowns. Then in 2003 he finally touches double-digit receiving touchdowns, going for more catches, more receiving yards, 1,515 to be exact. And then we don't see the same receiving production in the yards aspect, and he catches about four less balls, pause, than the previous year. Than the previous year, but he had 12 touchdowns. Amon, I feel like he's once like you hit it on the head. He is consistent. He's reliable. He is the bona fide number one in a good Detroit offense,
Mm-hmm.
and they scheme him well. He's another guy that plays in that slot. He plays outside, and I think he just for the overall of what Amon-Ra St. Brown does, he does it really well. The reason why I don't put him in that same realm as like a Justin Jefferson or a CD Lamb or Jamar Chase is just I just think those guys talent wise are better. That's you know, and I feel like you could. I feel like there's even. Ooh, I got something for you, Rocco, and tell me if you would agree with this. Almond Raw St. Brown is closer to AJ Brown than he is to like the likes of CD Lamb, Jamar Chase. Nah,
No, no. Here's the reason why he clears AJ Brown. I think we're getting confused with talent with production. The reason why he clears AJ Brown is because 2022 139 targets, 2023 158 targets, 2024 138 targets. He's pushing for 140 plus targets yearly, and AJ Brown will never touch that because of his situation.
that's true.
um, that elite running game. He's got an elite number two. On the other side of him, he just won't get those touches. Real life, fuck yeah. AJ Brown's literally probably closer in real life to that top three tier than his production will tell you because his yards per route run is super elite. So every time he's touching the ball, he's making stuff happen. It's just he struggles to get those targets, which put him in that super elite tier in fantasy.
I want to so hard. I was going to hit us with what our topic is tomorrow, and but I'm gonna save that for. It's just so hard, but I think AJ Brown. I think he has a bounce back year. To be honest with you, I'm not gonna go too far into that,
Hey,
but I
he
think
was
he has.
good. He was good last year. I mean, he won me a title, but you know, I would rather have him as my number two. I would feel comfortable, super comfortable with him as my number two, than rely on him week to week to get me points every single week. Ceiling, yeah, he has ceiling in spades, but as far as being that week to week guy that you can count on for 15 points, he's not going to touch it.
Oh, I can't really fight you on that one. And then if we look at it, they have Brian Thomas Jr. right beneath Amon Ross St. Brown, and he would be wide receiver 7 in these rankings. And then we
Mm-hmm.
got Mr. Devon A. Chain at ranked 13th player in ADP. I like it. To be honest with you, I'm starting to gain more respect for Devon A. Chain, and I'm actually thinking about trying to acquire him before the noise gets too loud. Yes, I've heard the noise, and that's what's making me want to go get him because I've heard he's been going quite crazy, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm.
Between, once again, we are playing buy, sell, trade. Between Devon A. Chain, Brian Thomas Jr., and Amon Ross St. Brown, who are you buying? Who are you selling? Who are you trading?
Okay, I think right off the top, I think I'm gonna sell. This is a tough one. I think I'm gonna sell BTJ,
Oof.
and
Okay.
that's controversial because he may be the most talented out of all three of these guys. Um, but I do have my concerns. My concerns are he didn't produce with Trevor Lawrence last year.
Mm,
I think he can produce with Trevor Lawrence. Just Trevor Lawrence has been kind of shit for a minute. Um, he's gotten into a lot of bad habits, and I worry about him regaining, you know, his promise that he had, in his first couple years.
mm.
Maybe he does get it back on track, but I would bet on the other two having amazing seasons before him. Um, and the other thing is that they just brought in another elite talent in Travis Hunter on the other side, which may help him, but it may also lead to him having less targets. So, unfortunately, even though I love BTJ in this competition,
Hmm.
I'm going to have to take him out and trade him.
Okay.
And so now we have Amon Ra and A Chain.
Yep.
A Chain has that ceiling where he can get 10 touches and get you 200 yards and just put up video game numbers.
Is
But
A Chain a 2025 league winner?
he can be because he can go off. He can go off throughout the season and win weeks.
Mm.
But for me, I like that weekly consistency where I know what I'm gonna get from
Okay.
Amon Ra every single week,
Mm.
and he also has ceiling, and he's also gonna pretty much guarantee me double-digit touchdowns. So give me the guy that's gonna get the targets, the guy that I can count on every single week, and the guy that's gonna score, you know, touchdowns in most games.
Yo, Rocco, I feel like, and I just noticed that we have the same name right now, but big honcho, two honchos in the building. Two things can be the same truth, but I feel like I booked that saying. But no, I think with Amon Ross St. Brown and Devon A. Chain, then you got Brian Thomas Jr. Honestly, I don't know. That's kind of hard for me. But what I feel like with Amon Ross St. Brown, I've sold him more than I've bought, only because actually there's really no reason. I just feel like if I need to get me some more players, Amon Ross St. Brown is a good little piece to move around to tear
Mm-hmm.
down from. Devon A. Chain is somebody who also I think has more of the boom or bust label to him. I want to not bust to he's a bad player, right? Bust
Mm-hmm.
to injuries. And like yes, he is somebody who has added weight, but nevertheless, those smaller guys, you just don't know, man. It's like the more they and I get
He's so
more
tiny. He's
right.
so tiny.
So
But it seems to be that's the way the NFL is going. So if him and Bucky continue to perform good, maybe we're kind of left behind. But I like the backs that got a little size that can absorb punishment and can have that 3 down roll. But maybe they're gonna prove us wrong.
So, what Amon Ross St. Brown, like you said, he and I think honestly, bro, when we might have to create a shirt at this point of how your number one saying is follow the targets. And that's what really what Amon Ross St. Brown is. He's going to be that guy who gets the most targets in that offense. Then you have Jamon, then you got Laporta, obviously, but like, bro, it's Amon Ross St. Brown's offense and then Jameer Gibbs, and obviously the everybody else. Devon A. Chain, we got to
Mhm.
see what happens with the Johnu Smith thing. We got to see how Tyreek Hill, if he makes a bounce back. You still got Jalen Waddle. So,
Yeah, and the coach is on the hot seat, so
yeah,
they're not going to put up with them having another subpar year. So
you know what I think is crazy?
things
I
could
think
change really quickly out there.
between, and not to go too far of a tangent into this, but I think it's crazy of how some of these guys who are very sought out offensive minds and then had successful
Hmm.
rookie years, then struggled in that second. How quickly that people turn their opinions on them quite quickly. I'm forgetting the offensive coordinator's name for the Houston Texans last year. Uh, he came over from the San Francisco 49ers.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh shit.
They loved him.
Our guy knows.
Yeah,
Our guy knows turning on him
they
quickly.
loved him when he first got there, and then they turned their back on that boy as soon as when things went downhill. And it's not even like they
Bobby
had.
Slowick.
There we go, Bobby Slowick.
Bobby Slowick. Yeah, boy, they changed. They turned on him quick.
Boy, so I'm trying to tell you. So it's
They try to say they wasn't on him when they were doing good, but I seem to recall he had a lot of fans, but they went out the door in 2024.
I'm quick. I'm trying to tell you. So listen, the way the ADP looks right now, I think what a lot of people and the wave has kind of been with Brian Thomas Jr. His price done gone up, right? Compared to how where you selected him, he was probably more of a late first rounder for you, where you was able to get him,
Hmm.
and now he's going to cost you. He's because he has potential alpha wide receiver one traits. He can be that, and then you have Travis Hunter who can develop to help you take more pressure. Because what I think with people when it comes to wide receiver ones is what people put too much. I think put in. That's my saying. People too much put into is that they when a wide receiver gets another good wide receiver in the system, they're like, oh, they're not going to get the same amount of targets. They're not
Hmm.
going to be able to keep that volume. No, because if you think about it, that helps them get open more. Because now coverages can't shade to their side of the field anymore. They can't they can't throw a safety over them anymore. They got to respect both sides of the field. It's the same thing goes with having a good running game. When if your running game sucks, they're not gonna care if you try to run the ball. They're gonna try to stop that pass because they can't. They know you can't run it. So now you're fucked, and then you come one dimensional. That's almost a death note in football when you come one dimensional.
Hmm.
So no, it's with Brian Thomas Jr., Devin A. Chain, Amon Ross St. Brown, and I guess it really comes down to flavor and how you like to build your team. As I'm slowly but surely learning these different terms of builds. Some people believe in the no RB, philosophy.
Zero RB.
No, zero RB. Thank you. That zero RB philosophy. So you might not be on a Devon A chain, but if you are somebody who likes to build like redraft, if redraft formats, I don't see why you're not going to go get you some Devon A chain this year. I think he has that ability for you. Dynasty, still good for you. Amon Ross St. Brown, still right now, because I think he's only 25, 24, 25. Good Dynasty. All these guys are good for Dynasty, good for redraft, no matter what the format is. So I think, and then it comes with another price tag of being young and elite. These
Hmm.
guys are in that type of group where it's going to cost you unless unless you end up drafting them. Like I don't remember where people had to draft Devon A. Chain. I don't think I was playing fantasy football yet, or dynasty fantasy football at that point yet. to know where Devon A. Chain was going at that time.
Late first, early second.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I mean, no, okay. That's a good
He
one.
he had some fans because his speed is basically generational.
Mhm.
And he can play football. He's just small. That's the thing about him. He's a good football player and he's fast as fuck.
There.
But he's
Mhm.
small. Like people imagine that if he gets hit. And another thing is that first preseason he fucked his shoulder up in the preseason,
Mhm.
and then the narrative came in, he's gonna get hurt, he just one good hit and he's kind of basically played all of last year, and he was not even kind of used correctly. He was run a lot more. He absorbed a lot more running punishment than he probably should have because they just didn't have anybody to take that role.
Mhm.
So what they do this year, they get a big Ollie Gordon. They bring in an Alexander Madison, who's whatever, and they bring in and they still have Jalen Wright
Awesome
to
too.
absorb those between the tackle carries. So what that
Yeah.
tells me is he's going to be used on explosive plays. They're going to find ways to get him in space. They're going to pass him the ball. He's going to line up at receiver. He's going to run out of the backfield. They're going to use him in a variety of ways,
Mhm.
and I think less is more with him because with
Agreed.
one touch, he can make your fantasy day. He can take a screen pass 80 yards to the house, and then you got 15 points right there with one play. He's one of the few guys that can do that. So yeah, I think he's worthy of an investment, and I want to have more of him on my teams. I just don't have a lot because the people that have him love him,
Yep.
and he's not a guy that I'm gonna pay up for. If I'm gonna pay up for, I'm paying up for Bijan. I'm paying up for Brees Hall. Guys that I can see winning me leagues. I guess I'm kind of talking both ways because A Chain could win leagues, but I still worry about the size. I worry that he's not going to be available when I need him down the stretch.
And before I go, cause I want to do another buy sell trade. I think this is actually fun. And while we've been going over this, I've been looking at it and see a couple of guys that are by each other, and I want to get your opinion just because I think it's a good one. But before we go into the next one, I'd like to go get a little break and say that this episode is brought to you by FastDraft
This segment,
the fastest best ball tournament out there where you can win over 250,000 cash dollars in prizes playing in there all four defense, all origins, all rookie, you name it. And all you have to do for a fast draft to double your first deposit is to use our promo code fourth, and they will give you up to $50. Now repeat, using our promo code fourth, fast draft will double your first deposit up to $50. Now, what I will like to the next buy sell trade I would like to do with you, Rocco, because I think this is actually a good one, and I'm still a believer on some of these guys. I bought some of these guys, well, one of them relatively recently, but we're gonna do Christian McCaffrey, Mr. 49ers running back his
mm-hmm.
motherfucking self, Derrick Henry, and let's go Jonathan Taylor since he is right there. So we have Christian McCaffrey at rank 16. We have Derrick Henry at rank 15, and then we have Jonathan Taylor at rank 18. How we going, Mr. Rocco?
Whew, that's a good one because so we got Taylor, we got King Henry, and what was the third one?
We have Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey, and Jonathan Taylor.
How do you pick? I want all of them. Shit. Um, let's see. I'm gonna trade. Uh, for me, this is going to be in between Taylor and King Henry. Um, age is I'm not going to say age is a factor. Second year in the Ravens offense, so that could be monumental for King Henry. And I may have a hot take in store for Jonathan Taylor, so but I don't want to give that away right now. But I think I'm gonna trade. Oh fuck! I'm gonna trade King. As much as it pains me to say that, I'm gonna trade King. No real reason, just because I think the other two are gonna have better seasons. It's honestly, it's nothing on King. King can come out and have 2,000 yards and nobody will be surprised.
Damn, then who?
Um,
Then hold on. Then if you're trading King, then who you selling? CMC.
well, no, I mean sell. My bad, I fucked that
Okay,
up.
okay,
So
okay,
I'm selling King.
okay, okay, okay. All
I'm
right,
selling King.
all right.
So now we're between CMC and Taylor.
Mhm.
And since I'm buying into the fact that CMC is going to once again be that league winner in 2025, he's going to provide you at least 2 more years of classic CMC play. And he's the only elite pass catcher amongst these three guys. Then it has to be CMC as the buy.
I like it. Honestly, if we're talking about, like you just said right now, both King Henry and CMC were league winners last year, or sorry, King Henry last year was a league winner. CMC got hurt, but there
Taylor
was,
was a league winner as
yeah,
well.
you gonna say he was crazy in the playoffs. And would you agree? And follow me now. Follow me now. Sometimes it's good to get out before get out a little sooner, right?
Mm-hmm.
In Dynasty. Sometimes you don't want to wait till the cliff is or your floor is falling out from underneath you, right? And I think this might be the highest if with Jonathan Taylor, this might be the highest where his value is. If he has, let's say he starts off really good throughout the season, I honestly would be if he has a good 2025, I'd be looking to sell Jonathan Taylor, if I'm being honest with you. If we won, I'm not. He's still young, but I think he's 26. But nevertheless, he's been banged up, and I don't think his value is getting any better per day.
Mm-hmm.
So, honestly, if we're looking at it, D. Henry, he's on plenty of my teams just because he's a fucking cyborg, and I think he's gonna ball to the wheels fall off if he has
Mm-hmm.
good production, great. The scheme is literally built for him. You hear me? So, and if we're looking at durability, Derrick Henry is the best out of all of them. He barely gets hurt. He been nicked up, yeah, but to me,
Uh,
the best trait is availability.
well, I think the only real injury he's had his whole career was the foot thing, and
Yeah,
he fixed the foot thing. He's never been hurt since. Never blown out a knee. Never had like a catastrophic on field injury. It's just been the foot.
yeah, yeah. Agreed. So like with Jonathan Taylor, do I and shit. When we talking about bias shit, I bought him from fucking you. But like at the same time, it's like I bought him for two first. I wouldn't do that shit now. But like I was chasing the chip. Did he help me get to the chip? Yeah. I was literally a runner up in the same league. So he did have that potential, but damn, did I'm am I when I'm looking at that now, I think I tried to sell him back to you for like a first and a second, LOL. But nevertheless, I think with Jonathan Taylor, if you're asking me, I would probably trade Jonathan Taylor. Oh no, hold on. Nah, I would sell Jonathan Taylor, trade Christian McCaffrey, and buy Derrick Henry. because I feel like you can get Derrick Henry for a. I'm not paying a first rounder for Derrick Henry. I think that's somebody you can get for like a second and a third or some shit like that, and gives you production. Like somebody might not do it. So I think somebody might just let Derrick Henry ball to the wheels fall off on their team. Because honestly,
I think that's what I find when I go
mm,
after Henry, because usually he's on teams that are championship contenders.
mm,
I mean, you know, if you see him on a team that sucks or a team that's rebuilding, you know, he should have been traded. So I'm willing to give a late first if I'm a championship contender for him, because I know he's gonna win me money. So if that's what it takes, I'd send it,
I'd be.
honestly.
Uh, I wouldn't be happy, I guess, but it depends if I'm like right there. If I'm
I would
literally
2026. I don't give a fuck.
right, 2026, I was literally just gonna say that if it's a 2026, that's why I said a second as well because I'll just fuck it. I don't really care for the class, like, but nevertheless, I would do that. Now, let's keep this train going. I like it. I like how we're going. Let's look at these next set of guys. I like this pair. I think this is a really good. This is a really good back-to-back pair right here. So, buy, sell, trade with Drake London, Lad McConkey, and AJ Brown.
Whew. Man, none of these are easy. I see.
Like I think that's why I was like, damn, I like the way ADP the ADP
All
on
right,
him. Right.
so we're saying Lad,
Yep. We
AJ
have
Brown, or
Lad.
London.
Yep. And you hold on, and before you go down your, you literally, I saw your tweet to Dog uh earlier where I think he was. It was a post of like, who would you choose, Marvin Harrison Jr. or Drake London? And you was like Drake London every day of the week.
Easy.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Stop playing with him.
Like, I don't know. Like, the way I play, the way I play Dynasty, I'm just not. I don't know. Like, the longer I've played, the more I've realized I want to minimize risk.
Hmm.
And if I didn't see it, and the guy didn't do it in his rookie season, then why wouldn't I want the guy that's guaranteed to get 140 targets going forward into the foreseeable future? Who's going to take targets away from him? Kyle fucking Pitts? Darnell Mooney?
And honestly, I'm still going. I don't get me wrong. Shout out to Kyler Murray, but one of the major gripes on him is because it's his height, and because of his height, he doesn't throw over the middle a lot. He really, and that's one, and that's the area of where Marvin Harrison Jr. really
Mm-hmm.
excels in that middle of the field. And when you have a quarterback that doesn't throw that ball, what can you do? So I'm going Drake London every day of the week with Michael Penix, who I think has. They both are good talent. Don't get me wrong, but I think Michael Penix is almost zeroed in at 100 targets or over 100 targets. He's at. I think he's projected. He can easily get those 100 catches
Mm-hmm.
and double-digit touchdowns in 2025 with Michael Penix.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, I think the easy buy is Drake London. I think
Short youth.
I you know, I mean he's I mean we just talked about this. He's in our tier 1 foundational piece. 149 targets last year. I don't see how that goes down
And one thing about that.
significantly, and he did that with only a portion of the season from Michael Penix. Most of the season he played with busted Kirk Cousins, and you had a point.
Yeah, I got one thing for you. And before I want you, because I want you to throw it into two aspects here, because I want you to give the. Actually, I'll take that back because I'll say that part for the second part of that. So when we talk about that particular format, since we're more on the side of dynasty right now, how would you go about these guys? Even though AJ Brown is the older prospect of the two, older player of the two, and we know that age and dynasty is a factor, right? But I
Mm-hmm.
also feel like it's AJ Brown, and like you said earlier, you would argue in real life he's closer to that top three than not closer to that top three.
Absolutely. I didn't realize till I looked at his stats that he did have back-to-back 1,400-yard seasons.
Mm.
Um, the thing that holds him back a little bit is he doesn't have a lot of seasons with double-digit touchdowns. That kind of holds him back from that elite tier as well. Um, in Dynasty, yeah, I'm going London Lad and AJ Brown. But for redraft, I think I'm gonna go London, AJ Brown, and Ladd because I think AJ Brown is gonna have, like you said, I think he's gonna have a bit of a comeback.
Yeah,
I mean, last year he played a little bit better on a per touch basis last year, but he also missed games. So, if he doesn't miss games, he's right back at 1,400 yards, even with all of the things that we talked about, such as Saquon Barkley having 2,000 yards and another damn near wide receiver one on the other side of him. So I think that he will have a bit of a bounce back season as far as getting closer to that 1,400 yard apex that he did for a couple years there in 23 and 22. Um, but you're just not going to beat those 150 targets from London. I mean, he's going to
yeah.
have the catches, he's going to have the yards, and he's going to have damn near double digit touchdowns because he's going to be him and Bijan are basically going to be the offense for that team. So yeah, it's Drake London all day for me as the number one in that scenario.
And
AJ
then
Brown in a fast draft scenario, and Ladd third, which all three of them are great assets to have.
And then you throw in a little wrinkle of also depends on the stats, right? Because then you got PPR and then you got standard, right? I think with
Mm-hmm.
PPR, receptions are king. You will go London there. But in like standard format, that's where AJ Brown starts to have more of a, I think his value starts to get closer with London, right? And then even half PPR, I think his value starts to get closer with London since I think touchdown wise, they're relatively shit. The man only had 60 something catches and still ended up with 7 touchdowns. To even go over 1,000 yards off of 60 something fucking catches is wild. I'm just saying, let's keep it a buck. So that just lets you know how much of a great talent he is. And y'all know how I feel. Once again, I say it anytime I have to bring up my motherfucking dogs. Go dogs. And you know how I feel about Lad. But nevertheless, like, and you know how I feel about, I'm still, even though I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, I still root for my Falcons because I'm from Georgia. Once again, go dogs. And it's hard for me to put Lad McConkey over a Drake London. Why? Because don't get me wrong, and this is not a knock to Lad McConkey because he could do it both on the outside and inside. But when it comes to, I think you can do more with Drake London in an overall offense than you can do with Lad McConkey. Don't get me wrong, Lad McConkey is really good, but he excels really a lot more in the slot. He does well on
Mm-hmm.
the outside, but he does work on the slot work. So does Drake London, but he also be on the outside. And then we know about AJ Brown. He is the pinnacle outside receiver. Physical, dominant. He's
Mm-hmm.
honestly, I love watching him play football. And I hate that as a Dallas Cowboys fan. But I love watching AJ Brown play football. It's fun to watch. Like, but yes, like kind of how I'll probably go the same way how you ranked it. I would just buy Drake London because I was buying Drake London before he had a quarterback, before he had the coaching. I was buying Drake
Mm-hmm.
London. I've even bought AJ Brown when he was going on a tear in 2023. So it's kind of funny actually of this group because I bought all these guys to be honest with you at some point, but and they've
Yeah, I mean, if you know what you're doing, you're trying to get these foundational pieces.
all I'm telling you. So it's like I've tried to get all these guys, but I would buy Drake London. I think I would. I think Lad McConkey has more trade value in Dynasty, and he
Hmm.
probably that's true. There's been people that would take the 104 from last year for Lad or the 103 for Lad last year. So it's like I think he has that value. I think AJ Brown still warrants a late mid first. Would you trade a mid first for AJ Brown? First in
26.
2026, yes, I would. I would be too against the trading a mid 2026 first. I'm not.
I,
You
I
know,
think I think I would. I think I would trade a 2026 mid first
it feels right. It feels good.
because if I was getting AJ Brown, it may not be a mid first anymore after I add him to an already stacked team.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. The only thing I'm not touching, and I've had to. There's been multiple chances actually, and there's been multiple guys throughout leagues who I've noticed are specifically targeting my 2027 first. I'm not coming up off of it. It's not happening. Like I'm keeping those just in case I end up being the one who can get a Jeremiah Smith. You never fucking
Mm.
know. You never fucking know. I'm going to be that guy or the guy from Alabama. I just want to have a good pick. I'm not trading. I feel like 2027 draft is going to be once again one of those rookie drafts that is going to transcend your team
Hmm.
if you play it right.
Diamond handing the fuck out of those picks,
I'm telling
man.
you.
Those picks to the fucking moon, like Dogecoin. Yeah, yeah. Whatever you do, try to hold on to those unless you have an opportunity to make a move that actually wins you a title. If if you're on the fence, then I would hold on to those 2027 picks because you don't want your team to fall apart and you miss out on a chance to get a Ryan Williams
Mhm.
or a Jeremiah Smith or any of the number of. I mean, if Arch Manning goes back to
He's going.
school,
Yeah, he's going in. He's
he'll
going
be
in
in that he'll
27.
be in that 2027 draft.
Yeah,
So those are the type of players. Before we even get into the weeds of things, those are three players that could be transcendent players, generational. Maybe not generational. People use that word too easily, but
this is me.
you
Oh,
know, guys that could be bona fide studs for your team for years.
all right. Are you ready for this last round of buy, sell, trade?
Let go.
I got you, man. And I feel like this is going to be another good one. We're going to go with Bucky Irving, Josh Jacobs, Brees Hall.
Bucky Irving, Josh Jacobs,
Josh
or
Jacobs
Brees.
or Brees Hall.
Okay. I know
Bye.
our guy, I know a few guys are down on Bucky. I think you are as well.
I still like Bucky. No, don't get me no, 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 no. I still like Bucky, and even though I'm still very high, he was still one of my favorite guys in 2024. It just I feel like I'm not in on the current value of Bucky. You
Hmm.
feel me? And then even towards the end of last year, he was getting banged up. He had a whole rib plate across his where for his ribs, man. Like he was getting tore up, but at the same time, I know he's going to be he's going to be one of those featured guys in that offense, and I know he can play. So
Hmm.
yeah, I do like Bucky Irving, but I also like the return on investment I can get on a Bucky Irving right now if I wanted to move him. And I think the overall it's almost like when we look at who we should think about. I think you brought the same thing up. It's like most people got Bucky Irving in the third. So if you can move him for a bit for another piece or a couple pieces or a first or something like that, that's a
I got
hella
two firsts for
that's hella good return on
him.
investment, brother. You feel me? That's wonderful return on investment.
This is generational wealth right there.
Telling you, this is overall life. This is not even about like football type shit. This is life advice that we're talking about here, where you want like if you get in on the stock early, and it ends up giving you more money in the end. Shit, I think if you really want to, shit, let's think about like Bucket Irving as fucking Bitcoin or some shit like that. Like in the early stages, then he blew up, and then now you just got two first off a third rounder. A
Four.
third? Oh, you got him in the fourth?
Yeah, the places I got him for, I got him in the fourth.
See, that's another one. See, I'm telling you, that's production right there. And then when you look at Josh Jacobs, who I'm still a fan of, don't get
Hmm.
very much. The Green Bay Packers offense is going to run through him. He's a guy who catch passes and he's going to get carries. Very feature back isk. And then you got Brees Hall, who I think people are still. It's like it's hard to get a read on Brees Hall because like you want to believe in the overall prospect of him. He played well. He was one of
Hmm.
those league winners a couple years back where if you ask me, if there was a player that if you was like, who could you see being in that a thousand club, 1,000 receiving yards, 1,000 yards? What player in the NFL could you see doing that? Brees Hall. That is my number one, and Devin A. Chain too. But Brees Hall is one of those guys that comes to my mind, and he just needs to stay healthy and do it. But it's weird because the Jets have so many good running backs, so it's like I don't know how to fill out. He's still young, but
Hmm.
it seems like Aaron Glenn is committing to him. But he's also talked about Braylon Allen getting the ball. He's also talked about the other guy's name is slipping my mind.
Isaiah Davis,
Isaiah Davis.
Braylon Allen.
Yes. So it's it's almost like if I would have to see how his usage early in the season is too, because I've seen he's on a couple trade blocks I've seen throughout leagues, and shit, you just acquired him, and I think honestly Justin Fields is going to be good for him. He's not going to have
Hmm.
boo boo Aaron Rodgers. I think the overall passing offense should look a tad bit better because they do have a tight end now. I think his chemistry with Garrett Wilson will be good. And an underrated dark horse that I've heard throughout camp that has been a solid contributor in the NFL is Josh Reynolds. No, he's not somebody who's going to wow you, but he's somebody who's stuck around. And yes, if he can win out that wide receiver two role, I'm with it. That's somebody who I'm willing to go have on my team, honestly. So if to send us off, Rocco, buy, sell, trade.
All right, so I'm buying Josh Jacobs. He's the only guy that's slated to be the workhorse out of those three. Um, Now the other two they're very close, but I'm gonna go with Reese Hall just because I'm a fan. He's a league winner when he's right, and Justin Fields is gonna create lanes like he's never seen in his entire life.
Mm.
When the linebacker goes with Justin Fields on the rollout, and he hands off to Brees Hall. And I think they're going to design some touches in the passing game because we obviously know, when times get tough, Justin Fields is going to tuck it and run. He's not going to be looking for Brees Hall. He's not going to be looking for anybody. He's going to be looking for 80-yard touchdown. So I think what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to design some screen game action and some looks where he's going to be maybe the second read on plays because they need to get him the ball in the passing game as well if they want to fully utilize him. And uh, so I'm going to take Brees Hall as my second guy. Is that is that selling Brees Hall? Or is that trading Brees Hall? I get confused with these, but
Buy, sell, trade. So buy, sell is basically like sell is basically like cutting, and then trade is trade.
okay. So the cut is second in this in this
Yeah.
in this way. So I'm trading. I'm trading Brees Hall because I know I can get a haul for Brees
You know what?
Hall.
You know what? Let's to make it easier on us and not mind fuckers. But let's do let's do buy, trade, sell. Let's do that.
Buy trade sale. Okay.
Buy, trade.
So Josh Jacobs, He's the workhorse.
Mhm.
Brees Hall, I'm a fan of it. I'm a fan of his work. And Bucky Irving, I want to see it one more time in 2025. And if I do, get myself back heavily invested again. But that's the way I see those three.
I think it really depends on the format for me, but nevertheless, if we're going Dynasty,
Well, it's fast draft, so that would be
right?
redraft.
Redraft, fast draft, baby. Well, at the end of the day, I think I would go with I would buy Josh Jacobs because once again, I really do, and once again, workhorse role running backs very highly a running back you really want. Right? I think when it comes to a value of a running back, it's about a guy who gets majority of the touches. If that's why we like Ashton Genty. That's the reason why
Mm-hmm.
we can put Ashton Genty in the same category, or he can be considered in his rookie year in that same category as a Jameer Gibbs, a Bijan Robinson, because we know he's going to get that volume to be and to get those type of stats, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bucky Irving, nevertheless good, but I almost want to get that return on my investment and to get those hell. If I can get more, I might not be high on that 2026 class, but if I can get me a 2026 first and 2027 first, or if I'm really low, and not even low, but thinking about long further into the future, and I'm really banking on that 2027 class, I'm going for like two first and two. If they have it, 2027 first, one second. I'm going for multiple years. Fuck it, go like a 2026 second, or
Mm-hmm.
if you want, like just try to break it up throughout the years to where I know that I feel good on like the return on investment on Bucky Irving. Brees Hall, I still feel like he's a first rounder, no matter how you view him, because he's still young, right? And we see him do it. That's the one thing with when it comes to when we're looking at these guys, have we seen them do it? And have we seen them do it at a consistent basis? We haven't seen Brees do it at a consistent basis, but we have seen him do it. So, nevertheless, I would probably go buy, like I said, buy Josh Jacobs, trade Bucky Irving because I know I can get a good return on my investment, and then I would sell Brees Hall.
Fuck Brees Hall is what you said.
Fuck that. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, now, but shout out to Brees though. But that's how I would go about it. Damn, this was actually a good episode. We gotta do this more often. But listen, this is a new one like we do with this and that. We're gonna be doing this every so often. So we're gonna bring this and that back too.
Hey, if y'all come up with a better name than buy, sell, trade
Okay,
that makes more sense,
okay,
help us out. Help us out. We got the idea. We just need the branding of this thing, and
yeah.
it's to the moon.
So let us know if y'all have a better wording on that one. But once again, that has been our episode, and it has been brought to you by FastDraft, the fastest best ball platform out there, where you can win over $250,000 in cash prizes playing on all their different formats. Get yourself in the game. Get that ass in the game. Use our promo code, let them double your money up to $50 using fourth or fourth. I repeat, they're trying to give you money by using our promo code fourth or fourth. Just throw that shit in the goddamn platform. I shouldn't have to tell you twice. Just do it, man. And this has been Fourth in Fantasy, your Dynasty playbook to more championship wins. And Rocco,
It's a fantasy football podcast for Dynasty sickos by Dynasty sickos, but y'all welcome in here.
let them know that. We're sickos. You're a sicko. Probably person outside your door peeping in your windows a sicko.
Oh shit!
We out here, baby. Nevertheless, get yourself some wins. The season needs to be here. I'm so tired of these fucking reports. I want the preseason to be here today. I need the NFL season here today. Get your championship rosters going. Keep tuning in to Fourth and Fantasy. We got more content coming. We still grinding. We still rolling. Better than ever. We just actually created a TikTok page. Follow us on TikTok. We're going to have it in the description box. You know what it is, Fourth and Fantasy. Thank you as always. Rocco, my guy. Take care of
Let's
yourself.
let's go.
And we out.
Oh.